The Mergui archipelago runs along the western shore of the Malay Peninsula in the Andaman Sea. It's made up of more than 800 islands, mainly limestone and granite. They're thickly covered with rainforest. Shorelines are punctuated by beaches, rocky headlands and mangrove swamps, whilst offshore there are extensive coral reefs. The local people are an ethnic minority known as Moken or sea gypsies. They follow a traditional lifestyle, fishing and building boats much as they have done for centuries, living on their boats during the dry season but usually staying in their villages during the wet. Although agriculture is the major source of income in this area, large rubber and oil palm plantations play a major role in the national economy, and almost all the lowland forest has been converted to palm oil plantations. Illegal slashing and burning clears 21,000 hectares of forest a year.
We are not really need to break so fast or so big like before. Yeah. So I hope you will be.
Gunung Leuser National Park covers nearly 8,000 square kilometres in northern Sumatra. It's named after 3,000-metre Mount Leuser and protects a wide range of ecosystems. The Bukit Lawang Orangutan Sanctuary is located within the park and is one of the two remaining habitats of the Sumatran orangutans. The Sumatran elephant, tiger and rhinoceros can also be found here, but as all are critically endangered due to poaching and habitat destruction, are not often seen. The critically endangered Sumatran orangutan is one of 3 species. It's rarer than the Bornean animal, but more common than the Tapanuli orangutan, also of Sumatra, which was only identified in 2017. Thomas leaf monkeys are endemic to northern Sumatra, but are threatened by habitat loss. Belawan is Indonesia's busiest seaport outside of Java. Initially built in 1890 for the tobacco trade, a major restructuring in 1985 added a container terminal, and the port now exports rubber, palm oil, tea and coffee. Banda Aceh is the capital and largest city in the province of Aceh on Sumatra Island. At an elevation of only 35 metres, the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami destroyed more than 60% of the city's buildings and killed 167,000 people. This 2,600-tonne electric generator ship was anchored offshore when the tsunami hit. 30-foot waves carried it 3 kilometres inland, and it's since become a tourist attraction. The entrance to the Tsunami Museum is through a dark, narrow corridor between two high walls of water, meant to recreate the noise and panic of the tsunami. The building acknowledges the victims and surviving members of the community. The 4-storey, 2,500 square metre structure has been built also to serve as a disaster refuge. Banda Aceh's 130-year-old Grand Mosque of Baitur Rahman survived the devastating 2004 tsunami. In the centre of the city, it has a 35-metre tower, 7 grand domes and 7 minarets. Its survival from the tsunami is viewed by locals as direct intervention from Allah. Major modernisation and reconstruction following the tsunami has seen a cessation of much of the conflict in the city and province. Banda Aceh had long been at the centre of conflicts between the Acehnese and foreign domination. Nias is the largest in the archipelago of 131 islands off northwest Sumatra, and it has one of the few remaining megalithic cultures in existence today. The island derives its name from the word the islanders used to describe themselves, Nia, or human. Built with defence in mind, Bawa Mataluo village is on a hill about 400 metres above sea level, reached up a flight of 80 steep stone steps. Nias is best known for its war dances and stone jumping, a manhood ritual that sees young men leaping these 2-metre stone towers as training for war. Two stone-paved roads, each about 300 metres long, terminate at the chief's house, the Omo Subua. Built on massive ironwood piles, it's accessed via a narrow staircase topped with a small trapdoor. The chief's large stone throne stands at the entrance. Padang was trading in pepper as far back as the 16th century. Until about 1780, gold was an important export, and when mines were exhausted, focus turned to coffee, salts and textiles. Administration from 1663 to 1942 swung between the Dutch and the British, followed by Japan during World War II and finally Indonesia in 1945. The Aditya Warman Museum, displaying regional artefacts, is built in the Rumah Gadang or big house style of the Minangkabau people indigenous to the highlands of Sumatra.
So I can explain to you all the wood, what they use it for wood carving. I saw already that wood and the soya. And the wood.
Sihanouk Canyon on the outskirts of Bukit Tinggi in the Minangkabau highlands is over 900 metres above sea level and about 15 kilometres long. A Japanese World War II bunker is at the base of the canyon. Bukit Tinggi's 1920s Jam Gadang clock tower has a traditional pointed Minangkabau roof. Bengkulu is the second largest city in Western Sumatra after Padang. Sukarno was exiled here from 1939 to 1942. In the 1600s, the British East India Company controlled the spice trade of southern Sumatra from its port of Banten in Java. Following the Dutch East India Company's attack and capture of Banten in 1682, the British established Bengkulu in 1685. They finally ceded the town to the Dutch in 1824 in exchange for Malacca. In 1714, Fort Marlborough was built by the British on an artificial hill using both convict and local labour. Under Dutch rule, Bengkulu had plantations of nutmeg and mace, and smaller amounts of coffee and rice were also produced. Krakatoa, a volcanic island in the Sunda Strait between Sumatra and Java, blew itself to pieces in a cataclysmic eruption in 1883. In 1927, Anak Krakatoa, or Child of Krakatoa, emerged from the caldera and is the current location of activity. It's growing at about 5 metres a year, and in 2017 was reportedly 400 metres above sea level. The 18th century Great Mosque was designed by a local Chinese architect as part of Sumenep's Keraton complex, another of his designs. The mosque's main gateway is a mix of Chinese and Javanese influence. The Sultanate of Mataram was the last major Javanese kingdom before the island was colonised by the Dutch, and this is the Keraton, or Royal Palace, built in 1762. Bull racing is part of the culture of Madura Island. It originated from the practice of using two bulls to pull a bamboo sled to plough the fields and aimed at developing strong animals. Race bulls are force-fed a mixture of spices, crushed ginger, pepper, chili, honey, beer and dozens of eggs to warm and strengthen them, and races are held after the harvest each year. Bromo Tengah Semeru National Park is the only conservation area in Indonesia that has a sand sea, the Tengah Sand Sea. It's the caldera of the ancient Tengah volcano, from which 4 new volcanic cones have emerged. It covers an area of over 5,000 hectares at an altitude of 2,100 metres. The sand sea is surrounded by the steep crater wall of the larger Tengah caldera. Bali is an island in the Indonesian archipelago, home to an ancient culture known for its hospitality. Taman Ayun Hindu temple was built about 1634 and its name means beautiful garden. Tanalot Temple is an ancient Hindu shrine and one of Bali's important landmarks. The Ubud Monkey Forest is a nature reserve and Hindu temple complex in Bali's uplands.
Bend your body.
Mama! Help! Look into the fleas! Help! Glasses.
They're coming to get it off. There's a stick.